Hello friends, if you're new, welcome to my channel. How about going down, hitting the subscribe button and ringing the bell so you don't miss any episodes. For my fans and subscribers, welcome back. Thank you for the patronage. Please remember that I now have a website that has a merch store on it. Today's topic, Origins of Satan, Satan's Earthly Kingdom. Not much else I need to say, let's get on with the video. The Christian movement became largely Gentile by 100 CE. Converts faced danger, not by Jews, but by pagans. Romans believed that the quote-unquote atheism of Christians would bring down the wrath of the gods upon everyone. And the Romans believed they were atheists because they refused to worship the pagan gods. Because of this shift, the Christian perspective of Satan also shifted. Now, instead of seeing Satan in the Jews, Gentiles saw Satan in other Gentiles through Roman persecution. This persecution complicated things for the writers of Matthew and Luke, who depicted the Gentiles in a generally favorable light. Paul complained in circa 55 CE that he faced danger from everyone, even though he only mentions persecution by the Jews. Additionally, the author of Acts records that Paul regarded the Romans as his protectors, yet he was executed on the orders of a Roman magistrate. One of Paul's disciples, in a letter attributed to Paul, called the Letter to the Ephesians, warned that Christians fought against supernatural powers. This is when the idea of Satan as a supernatural entity entered the picture. Many Christians, especially those faced with persecution, agree with this sentiment of spiritual warfare, and the author of Revelation envisions animals and monsters that he associates with Rome. And yes, I am planning on doing an entire series on the book of Revelation, and surprise, surprise, it isn't what you think. Gentile converts believed that people who worshipped pagan gods, sometimes their own family members, were driven by Satan to harass and persecute God's people. Christian preachers found that what the Jews found offensive about the new religion offended pagans even more. That is, Christians severed the bond between religion and nation. Ancient people thought that a religion and a people were firmly and lastingly linked. Because of this severance of traditional bonds, this new religion could appeal to anyone from any nation, which is why Paul wrote, quote, "There is no longer Jew nor Greek," end quote, Galatians 3:28. For Christians, there were only two types of people: those who belonged to God and the subjects of Satan. So you can see that very early on in this new religion, in the writings of Paul and others, we have a polarization going on. And not only that, but we now have, like I said before, the entrance of quote-unquote Satan as a supernatural bad guy. Despite hostilities, the movement grew. Tertullian, a North African convert, boasted that Romans started to embrace Christianity. But why? Why would pagans who formerly hated Christianity embrace it, putting their lives at risk? Justin and others give us clues. Justin, who came from Asia Minor, had come to Rome to study philosophy. One day he went to the amphitheater with friends to see the gladiatorial combat. In the midst of the gruesome entertainment, a group of criminals were led out to meet their death at the paws of wild beasts. Justin was surprised to see how they met their death with serenity and learned that they were Christians. He was astonished that this group of uneducated people accomplished what Plato thought was the greatest accomplishment, facing death with equanimity. Later, he found out that this was due to the conviction that their own death would only expedite God's victory over the evil that the Roman magistrates embodied. Sometime after this, Justin met an old man who told him that what he sought, self-realization, could never be found in philosophy. This man was a Christian and told Justin that the human mind was incapable of seeing the divine. This confirmed Justin's worst fears, that he was wasting his time. Justin found himself repeating, "But Plato says," and I believe him. How ironic that Christians cannot see that they do the same thing with the Bible. But my book says, and I believe it. At least Justin had the sense enough to feel foolish. Talking with the Christian, Justin realized that he could not think rationally about the divine. The older man told him that the mind was infected with demons that confused thinking. Before he could achieve an understanding of the divine, he would have to receive the divine spirit. However, in order to do that, Justin needed to have an exorcism in which he himself would have to invoke the divine spirit to cast out the demonic spirits. After considerable internal struggle, Justin assured himself that Christians had discovered great divine power that had always been there, but could only be accessed through certain rituals, beginning with baptism. Now, baptism did not start with Christianity. I will be doing an entire series on baptism. He then sought out other Christians and asked to become a candidate for baptism. Since baptism gave him entrance into the polarized world of Christianity, he now saw the entire universe as a cosmic battleground where good and evil fought. He also thought that his eyes had been opened to see the evil and deceit behind goddesses like Roma and gods like Zeus. He turned his back on his childhood piety to revere the forces of nature. He now saw every god and goddess that he had ever worshipped as allies of Satan. Christianity saw the spiritual energies called daemons by pagans as filthy. We see this reversal in the English word demons. In other words, Christians took an innocuous pagan concept and turned it into a sinister concept, and we see this again and again and again. As a side note, Justin buttresses his new beliefs with arguments such as those who were once promiscuous have reined in their sexual appetites. But can that not be said of other religions that they change the lifestyle of their adherents. Well, friends, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, press the subscribe button, and if you want to know when I come out with new content, hit the bell next to the subscribe button. My Twitter, Discord, email, PayPal, and websites are in the description, along with the source that I used for this video. If you wish to support me, you may do so on my PayPal link. I also have a new merch store, so check that out. And if you would, please leave comments in the comment section. Not only do I love hearing from you, but it also triggers the YouTube algorithm. Keep learning and searching for truth. Here are a few videos from my library. If you have not watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Also, I'm thinking about adding a comment of the day slide to my presentation. So if you want to be included in that, leave comments in the comment section. That's the only way. Stay safe and goodbye.